say that. Since the judge used to say to me, all rise. Okay, we're on. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. 10 after 7, I believe. Okay. The mayor and council wishes to acknowledge the town of Fort Smith is located within the Treaty 8 territory. The Treaty 8 territory also comes of traditional homelands of Salt River First Nations, Smith Landing First Nations, and the indigenous Métis of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship of their sacred lands throughout the generations. We honor their acknowledgement, teachings, and traditions, and the land. We are mindful that colonization was not been kind. We respectfully recognize our generational histories and commit to strive for the unity and spirit of the truth and recollection, whatever. Okay. Okay. The approval of agenda.
I move that the agenda be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
See none, all in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
Yes.
Okay, tonight we have a presentation from the RCMP.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Kagri Yilmaz. This is today's my third day in Fort Smith. My wife and family have moved a week prior from Fort Providence, where we lived 3 years. Prior to that, we lived a number of years in Nunavut. I come here with 13 years of service. All of my patrol years have been in the northern Saskatchewan, up here in the Northwest Territories in Nunavut. I've also worked nearly 5 years in drugs and national security in Montreal. So this is a promotion for me. I was the previous detachment commander in Fort Providence. I'll be presenting the July monthly report to everyone here. The first priority of the RCMP in Fort Smith is road safety. The members have done a number of traffic stops and roving check stops in the month of July. There was an increased police presence during the Paddle Fest festivities. For the second priority for this fiscal year, which is community relationships, July 1st, the members have attended the Canada Day festivities and the parade. On July 5th, our recruit, Jesse Woodward, who now has 2 months of service, has assisted with the Fort Smith Tennis Club. Daryl Nadeau and Jesse Woodward again have participated in the Fort Fitzgerald Treaty Days. And Jordan Nordstrom, which is Jesse Woodward's field coach, have again assisted with the Paddle Fest festivities throughout the weekend. On pages number 3 and 4, we've attached some of the pictures of our members' attendance in the community functions. On page number 4, our members have continued to be involved with the youth groups, playing soccer, lacrosse, and some other sports with the kids. My wife has been here now. It's her second week, but she's already involved with some of the young moms and other young families of town. So we have 3 young kids, so you'll see us a lot attending these community functions for young families and kids. One thing that I've noticed after working 3 days in Fort Smith is the number of mental health calls in this town, which appears to be higher than for the size of this town, appears to be high. Wherever you go, they are very labor-intensive calls. meaning that we must attend right away and we must put a lot of people working on those, finding the people. Oftentimes, they won't disclose their location and whatnot. And if they do not have a cell phone, it's hard for us to determine their location. So in July, we had 9 calls under the Mental Health Act. All 9 of them had a positive outcome, thankfully. But my very first call on Monday was a mental health call. The 2 of us worked half a day on this, from apprehending the gentleman who admitted that he needed help. He expressed his desire to hurt other people, so he was a risk to others. We had to bring him to the nursing station to be seen by a doctor. So until that person is what we call formed, which is an order signed by a doctor that he must be held under the Mental Health Act, we need to sit with that person at the hospital. So that's what we did. So again, very labor-intensive calls. So that would be the highlight for the month of July. As you can see, there is, it says that John Cormier is still working here. He has now returned to Fort Simpson. His family is still here. He has resumed command of the Fort Simpson detachment. So it will be me for the next few years. We have 2 members that are on parental leave. We are getting another recruit in September. He is originally from the Calgary area. He will be trained by Daryl Neto, who's one of our senior members. We also have a member from Inuvik who's helping us. She'll be here for the next probably 2 months helping us. So the town of Fort Smith, once we get that recruit, will have an additional member in town. We currently have 8 positions. We'll have 9 in September. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
SAL.
Sorry, can you clarify 8 or 9 members in the community, or 7 members in the community with 2 members on leave?
So all 9 are in the community, 7 are active.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. After the other 2 members come off of parental leave, will the number remain at 9?
We do not, I can't go into the details of Kaylee's situation, the member from Inuvik. However, we at this point, as of today, we do not have any idea of when she will be transferred. So it could be until the end of the year, which is good for us. We have an additional member. One of the members, the corporal, Stephanie Leduc, she will be back on duty in October, November. Once she returns, her husband will be going on parental leave as well for a couple months.
Thank you.
Councilor Campbell.
I got a question for you. This Yellowknife call-in center after hours, that pisses the guy off when he phones in. They make me sound like the criminal when I phoned in last time from my mother's house. They had me, I phoned in, said my name, where I was at my mother's house, and there's 3 people outside her house fighting. One was running up the steps all bloody. And it was just, I don't know, we got to put it somewhere that they respond, say just responding, keep you on the line, but she made me feel, and I heard this from a lot of other people since I told the story, she made me feel like I was a criminal. She pissed me off so much I hung up on her. And our local boys showed up and they were good about it after. But it just the way they come across on that phone. Everybody said that they don't want to phone in because it makes the person feel like a criminal, that they're the ones sitting on that hot seat doing it. It just, we have to do something that it's more respond to the place they have to go to and quit making the person phoning in like criminal, because people don't want to phone in any crimes or anything with that kind of response we're getting. Thanks.
I'm assuming your frustration arises from the fact that they're asking a lot of questions? Right. Okay. So the dispatchers, wherever they are in the country, are trained the same way. They need to ask the 5 Ws. And I understand that when someone calls the police is because they're either going through something that they don't want to go through, or they're witnessing something that they should not be seeing. So they need to ask all those questions, where it's happening, who is there, and whatnot. And I get it. When you want the police right away, you just want to give them the address and tell them they're fighting, get the cops here. But they must ask those questions. We're already on call after our shifts. We cannot be the call takers at the same time, right? Because we're sleep deprived. I'll give you an example. Fort Providence currently has 4 cops. Right now, because I'm gone, there's 3 of them. Believe it or not, Fort Providence has the same number of calls as Fort Smith. It is 4 times as smaller than Fort Smith. So, and if you look at our stats, calls are coming in Thursday from 4 p.m.-ish until Sunday. So we're up all night. Now, if we were to take these calls, we would just not be sleeping. You would see grumpy cops walking around, and it wouldn't fly with people, right? So I understand the frustration. The dispatchers are asked, and they must ask those questions before they dispatch us, right? If we don't have all that information, we cannot make that call as to, do we show up with 2 guns in our hands with 50 guys behind? We don't have 50. It's just the way I'm trying to explain this. But do we show up the whole detachment, or do we show up just the 2 of us, right? I do feel your frustration, though. And I've heard it a lot, oftentimes in small communities.
Okay, then. Then I hung up before everything was answered. Then they showed up. And they were, don't get me wrong, they were professional and everything, and they did a good job. We sat and talked to them and everything. But just, I hung up because she made me feel I did not answer any more of her questions because she kept going like I was a criminal. But then she still sent somebody there. That's what gets my goat. It did not, all the things. But just the way they made me feel like I was a criminal. I don't care how many questions they asked, but they just made me feel like I was the one in the wrong. What am I doing at my mother's house, they asked me. Just stuff like that. I don't think it, maybe it is, but after saying, yes, I got the cops coming, then you say, you still on the line, and ask me the question, but don't go. I'll stay on the line, talk to him, but just the way that she got my on and on. Thanks.
When was that call made? Roughly? Like, okay.
Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I can tell from the way you were speaking that really passionate about mental health cases that are really like labor intensive for you guys to deal with, because I could tell, I couldn't imagine having to just sit and do that for that long. Is there anything that we could do to help lobby or support so that you guys can, is there something we can do as the town of Fort Smith that could help with, we're lobbyers, so that's all we can do, but what can we do to help you guys so that maybe it's a supportive, something to help you guys?
It's I think we as a society need to promote or talk about mental health a little bit more. There's nothing to be embarrassed about having mental health issues. At one point or another in our lives, personal lives, we all go through crisis. And so talking about mental health, making those school presentations, not only the RCMP, the police, but um, anyone in the healthcare, talk about that. And then I believe we can work with the partners at the nursing station and whatnot, or social workers, mental health workers together to see how we can better customize our approach with the members of the community. That's what needs to be done more often. In a perfect world, you would have a mental health nurse, like we see in some of the larger communities in the country, patrolling now with the police. So whenever there's a mental health call, they have that specialized training, right? And the police is there to keep the peace, make sure the nurse is not going to get hurt and whatnot. But the nurse is there with the police right away. There's no, okay, you have an appointment next week kind of thing, right? So is that going to happen here? Unlikely, because of the size of our towns. We're small. We have smaller towns in the territory, but we still definitely can work together with the different partners to get a better response. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we should probably look at in over the winter or whatever is putting together that it was like emergency group before where you had social service, RCMP, your mayor, council, probably leadership or something. Yeah, that one. Like that hasn't been going for a long time. Eh? Yeah, like AA was in there and counselors and everything. I think we should take a look at putting that back together again, because everyone in the department has a responsibility to do. And one of my biggest questions is time hasn't changed that much from my days. Like when you're riding around, say 12 o'clock at night, you're going to get your grandson or whatever he's babysitting or something, and you see these kids walking around. They're too young. They shouldn't be out, right? Like we need to start down that road, because a lot of times when I was young, well, being outside was probably the safest place to be. I didn't want to be there, but still, nevertheless, that's just what it was. And 50 some years has passed, but that same picture's still out there that we haven't dealt with. And I'm sorry, but sometimes you got to deal with it with a firm hand. And if people don't like that, well, that's that's not my problem, because I've been there, and you can't start treating kids like that or whatever. Or these kids acting out. Why are you acting out? But get to the grassroots and start working with them, all of us. Because, if it's social service, well, you got a responsibility to them, right? Everyone has a responsibility in this community. And it's time we start looking at it seriously and pulling it together. This is the way the new shop's going to work, and this is where it's going to look. And I'd love to take a crack at that. And maybe it'll answer some of these questions. But the bigger ones I got is time hasn't really changed that much. In some cases, there's still a vicious cycle out there. And that has to be stopped. And the only way to stop it is to stand up and change it. And of course, some people are going to get mad, but that's life. You can't treat other kids, your kids, like that all the time, or some of the time. And that hasn't been dealt with for a long time. So I'll just go on the board and put it on the board, I guess. So
We've had interagency meetings in Fort Providence. I'll get back to Fort Prov because I spent the most recent years there. But the interagency meetings proved to work. It proved to be very effective. Everyone is sitting around in the same room, and we're talking about what we're planning on doing, and then it's just the perfect environment for brainstorming. Everyone that should be around the table is there, and then we can work together, right? We can make a presentation, police and mental health worker at the school, right? So it's like more of a combined effort, which I think most definitely, if we don't have that here, we should be having. again, COVID has ruined a lot of people's plans and whatnot, but if we can bring that back alive, that'd be great.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to welcome you to the community, and I will be meeting you in sometime in the near future. But it is on our agenda to revive the interagency group. I had been part of it many, many years ago, but it is time to bring it back forward. And looking at this, it's definitely a key, especially with the mental health issues here, to bring in social services and the other agencies to try and move forward to offer some assistance for different people in the community.
No, I'm totally behind that. And I guess where I'm saying is, even I'm mayor, I don't have all the answers. You know, more heads around the table are better. So I'm very down that road on getting that started up in that. And maybe we could correct stuff. Well, it's worth a shot in the dark. So. Any more questions? Seeing none, so I will thank you and welcome to our community.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you, everyone.
And I'll let you out of your cell there to the public. I just had to say that. Always good to have sense of humor.
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting 02/22, July 19th, 2022 be adopted as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, all in favor, pass unanimously.
I move that the minutes of special meeting SP 03/22, August 2nd, 2022 be adopted as presented.
I'll second.
Question? Number E, business arising for minutes. I see no questions. Declaration of financial interest. Statement of disclosure of interest. Council business. Introductory of consolidated committee reports.
I move that council approve the ICIP Cultural Spaces Funding Contribution Agreement with MACA in the amount of $738,750.
I'll second that.
Question? No questions. All in favor? Ashley.
I move that council appoint Rebecca Cabell as the town representative to the District Education Authority.
I'll second.
Question? All in favor? Pass unanimous.
I'll move that council accept the 2022 second quarter variance report as presented.
I'll second.
Question? Okay, all in favor?
I'll move that Councillor J. McDonald be appointed deputy mayor to November 2023.
I'll second it.
Question?
So we will be working to bring you in September the appropriate bylaws and such to allow the new deputy mayor to have signing authority.
I'll move that the currently vacant seat be filled and that the SAO bring forward information on the process.
I'll second that.
Question? See none, all in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I move that council approve the donation to the Fireweed Music Festival of the use of the Bouncy Castle, 3 CRC monthly family passes, 2 gym Nerf battle parties, and 2 arena birthday rentals for a total of $1,018.
I'll second that.
Question?
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm that you were looking at those funds from the frolics that were not put in the right place, that our donation, okay, revenue will be back, okay.
Yes, we're going through that process right now.
Oh, no, I'm just gonna read the next one. I move that administration, oh,
All in favor? We're passed unanimously, and, yep, perhaps we could take a break. We're going too fast here.
I move that administration submit an expression of interest to NWT Habitat for Humanity for a home built in the community and that council donate a suitable building lot as the town's contribution to the project.
I'll second.
Question? I hear no question. All in favor? Oh,
Just that it doesn't say lot, it says building. You're gonna fix that? Okay.
okay, all in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I'll move that DPA 020-22 submitted by Derek Martin to operate a home occupation business, Martin Outfitting Inc., located at 17 Pine Crescent, lot 295, Plan 207, Fort Smith, NT, be approved as presented, subject to compliance and requirements.
I'll second it.
Questions? All in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I'll move that DPA 022-22 submitted by Ruth Modeste to operate a home occupation business, Agama Unthreaded, located at 18 Ptarmigan Street, lot 23 and 24, block 18, plant 212, Fort Smith, NT, be approved as presented, subject to compliance requirements.
I'll second.
Question? I see none, all in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I move that DPA 020-24 submitted by Hillary Leroy Goche to operate home occupation business, North Star Leadership, located at 30 Polar Crescent, lot 391, Plan 207, Fort Smith, NT, be approved as presented, subject to compliance requirements.
I'll second that.
Question? Favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I'll move that the old brick water treatment building be demolished and that administration enter into negotiation with an identified contractor from the tender process to finalize a price for this work.
I'll second it.
Question? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I move that the contract to remove hazardous waste from the Fort Smith landfill be awarded to Kavanaugh Waste Removal Services in the amount of $181,497,000. 91, yeah.
I'll second that.
Question? All in favor? All in favor, pass unanimously.
I move water meters, that this water meter deposit, that this item be tabled to municipal services on September 13th, 2022.
I'll second.
Question? I see none. All in favor? Pass unanimously. Appointments. Okay, Mayor and Council Representative, Board of Representatives updates. Tucky.
There are no updates available. Is this where we speak over this? Yeah. I just want to again express my condolences to the late Deputy Mayor's family, Diane and the children, to the Mabbitt family, and to the Lalonde family. Both of these gentlemen I've had the privilege of working with in the past, and they just like the families to know that thoughts and prayers are with them. I would also like to congratulate Councillor Jay McDonald on his appointment to Deputy Mayor. And I think for tonight, that's all I have. Thank you.
Hi, I as well would like to express my condolences to the Heron, Mabbitt, and Lalonde families on the loss of their loved one. It was a pleasure to work with Deputy Mayor Heron, and he will be definitely missed. I would also like to thank all the staff and the councillors for pulling together for the summer and covering things, and for the great work that the rec department did with the different events for the children around town. And I congratulate the Fireweed Festival that's happening this weekend for the efforts that they've done, and Paddle Fest as well. And I hope everybody's had a good summer.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to say it's back to school, and just know that everyone was going to be back on the roads now again, and to remind everyone it's 30 kilometers through the school zones, and so slow down. And I just want to say congratulations to the 5 boys and 1 girl that went to Yellowknife for the Canada Winter Games trials for hockey selection camp. I'm not sure if they're all successful yet, but I know the girl isn't, but the boys I think are good contenders and might make that Canada Winter Games hockey team. Sarah Porter did. Oh, well, there you go. So that's fantastic, and that's it. That's all I want to say.
Nothing, just, well, thanks everybody for saying everything I wanted to say. And then also to the 2 guys that are from the water plant that are taking the water plant operators 1 past this Friday. Thanks.
Thank you. I also wanted to pass my condolences to the family and friends of the Heron, Lalonde, and Mabbitt families. I also wanted to thank the Mayor and Council for your support in appointing me Deputy Mayor. I will use all of my tools and skills to provide as much assistance and service and dedication to this position as I can. Thank you.
Thank you. I also would like to send my condolences to the Heron family, to Diane and the boys, and to the Mabbitt family, and to the Lalonde family. And also just to congratulate the youth that went to the Canada Summer Games on behalf of the NWT, and also to congratulate the ones who made the team for the Canada Winter Games. Thank you.
I'd just like to send out my deepest condolences to the Heron family, Lalonde family, and the Mabbitt family. They'll certainly be missed. They're a long time in this community of ours, and Deputy Mayor, well, you'll be missed lots, and yeah, so I just like to send my deepest condolences to the family and then. For this month, I was away for about a good 2 weeks here. I came down with shingles. Then the staff didn't want to let me back in the office, so I just had to stay home. But I tried to work from home. But no, it's good to see the pavers in town, and the other work that's going on. And I'd like to compliment the CEO, the staff, and the council for 8 months. The amount of work we've came out done, and that's awesome looking back. And I'm not saying other councils not doing it. I'm just saying what we've achieved. That's totally amazing, the amount of work that we put out this year. And I know a lot of times they used to ride them, and SEO say, "No, it's my job." And okay, but still ride them. Go on, we need this done. They're trying their best. Well, they got to start working 7 days a week here. There is no rest here. Let's go. So, we're coming into the fall, and we all done a awesome job, and I think the community could see that. There's still faults that we need to deal with, yes, and all it is growing pains. We've been in this position for 8 months, and that's just growing pains, and it's going to happen everywhere you go. So, and we're just going to have to live with it and learn from it and to be better at it. Next year there's a whole new start again. We'll do it all over again until we catch up this town again. And then in the third year, well, the town's ready to go again. You can start building your infrastructure. Everything's taken care of. So, but no, it's been a good teamwork for the 8 months, and it was great. Sure, we had our problems in that, and that's just life. You're always going to have problems. Doesn't matter you're raising your own kids or whatever it is that you work. You're always going to have problems. That's just life. And it's growing pains. So anyway, we all stuck it out so far, and over the 8 months, we've been hit with a lot. We've been tested a lot of times, and we still in there. And that goes to show the town has a good council here. And a lot of stuff hasn't been easy on us, but we're still here, and we're still determined that we're going to do this, and we're going to fill in our terms. So I commend you all. So thank you with that. There we go. Okay, SCO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. I think it's very important the mention that Councillor Pishinger had for our Canada Summer Games athletes. One of our town employees, Sean Grandjam, went for track and field. So he left us a little bit early from his summer employment so he could attend Canada Summer Games. So we're super proud of him. I personally am proud of him because he's a member of my family. So that's pretty amazing. And I think that's something we have to celebrate this year going forward, our Arctic Winter Games and our Canada Winter Games athletes, because now we're back to finally be able to do it. We have a number of young athletes attending the Canada 55 plus Summer Games. So there's a number of sportsmithers who've gone off to that in Kelowna. That opening ceremonies was last night. So congratulations to all of those participants. I think this is something council can celebrate, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to start showing that a bit more in our social media and our newsletters and things like that, in photos and some experiences around that. Councillor Ferguson mentioned school is starting on Monday. We are currently have on order our new crosswalk signs. So we're hoping to see those very quickly. So for the public, remember, again, that is a 30 zone. There are crosswalks, mid-block crosswalks, and you'll start to see some new signage there to help remind people about those crosswalks for safety. The paving company doing the prep work, Pulverized, called her today. I really want to go and pulverize something. It sounds super awesome. The director told me it looked really amazing. So that's well underway, and tomorrow the contractor is going to mobilize equipment to the theater to start the demo of the theater. So we're going to see some more again, and we still have big things like the Sewage Lagoon Sludge happening. So lots of big things still happening this season to get finished. Next month, during Municipal and Community Services Council is going to have two of our big projects presented to them. So the Integrated Transportation Master Plan, which is meant to help make our various modes of transportation in the community safer, and to encourage pedestrian traffic to help reduce greenhouse gases and impacts of climate change, as well as our engineering company consultants will be providing us with a report on the water infrastructure. So they looked at the raw water intake, the building the building beside and the water tower, and the main lift station for upgrades to those buildings to improve the staff's ability to work in those spaces and safety and efficiencies. So you'll have that report coming to you to preview in the next week, I think, so that you have some of that information prior to the presentation. But those are huge projects that I think are very valuable to the community as we move forward, and will also create some great work for community contractors. And again, it's been a long summer. I was away for part of it, but was still actively here in my telephone. So I appreciate all the work the council did this summer. It's hard when you want to go on holidays and you have commitments to come to council meetings. So again, I think the community should be proud of the councilors for the commitments that they make to this organization. Thank you.
Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you. Thank you, SAO. I just think we should also make mention to someone that who's moved out of the community who helped support the Fort Smith ambulance. And I think we should identify and thank Tony Jones for all his work. And now that he's not here, I'm sure there's a huge void in that whole department and what he did for our community. And so I'm hoping he'll be a hard person to replace. And he did a really good job for the town of Fort Smith.
Aseel.
And I think that's again, we lost a family of important people. Both Tony and his spouse Christy were actively involved in a number of our sports organizations, figure skating and hockey and volunteer fire and ambulance. And Christy was our representative on the housing board, so we'll have to be replacing that. So great community volunteers who've left the community. I think that happens to us, and we don't see it happen. But with somebody like Tony and Christy, it's a bit closer to home because we see Tony's the void left from Tony at the ambulance department. So thank you to both of them.
Okay, no more other questions? Are we absent of councillors? Councillor Ferguson.
Oh, sorry, no. I'll move that Councillor Bolio be excused from regular meeting of council on August 24th, 2022.
I'll second.
Question? She did text me and said she was going to be late, but then we finished pretty early. No, all in favor? Okay, all in favor. Okay, adjournment. Who?
Here, I'll tell you the dates. I'm going to read them off the board. So the date of next corporate is September 6th. Community and municipality is September 13th. And the regular meeting of council is on the 20th of September 2022.
Don't forget, councillors, you're all going to Yellowknife for your conference on the 14th.
I move that the meeting be adjourned at 7:53 p.m.
I'll second that.
All in favor, question? Anyone wants to stay late? Adjournment.